Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am so excited you're hanging out with us today because we are going to open up what I like to call the ultimate, brilliantly designed toolkit for navigating everyday life. I mean, we're talking about the biblical text. Have you ever wished you had a cheat sheet that could tell you exactly how to make great choices, be an awesome friend, and avoid making those really big messes? Well, that is exactly what the book of Proverbs is. Today, we're unlocking the incredible wisdom tucked right into Proverbs chapter 19. It is literally packed with secrets for living a fantastic life, and I absolutely cannot wait to share them with you.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to imagine something for a second. Have you ever been so incredibly excited to go somewhere that you started running way too fast down the sidewalk and suddenly, boom, you tripped and scraped your knee? Or hey, maybe you were in a huge hurry to finish a chore, like cleaning your room, so you just sort of stuffed everything under your bed, only for the whole shebang to spill right back out later. We have absolutely all been there. We rush, we don't think, and we end up creating a way bigger mess. Well, hold on to that thought because the biblical text has something really important to say about those rushed, totally unthinking moments.
So that brings us to our first big concept from the biblical text, the two paths and choosing wisely. You see, every single day is essentially a series of choices between a wise path and a foolish path. And this brilliantly illustrates what we see right in the very first verse, where the text compares two types of people. On one side, we have someone who is poor, whose walk is blameless. Basically, someone who might not have a ton of toys or money, but they always try to do the right thing. They're on the wise path. On the flip side, we have a fool whose lips are perverse. The biblical text tells us straight up, it is far better to do the right thing with a good heart, even if you don't have much, than to be someone who makes foolish choices with the things they say. Now, you might be scratching your head at that big word, perverse. Let's decode that real quick. When the text talks about a fool with perverse lips, it means someone who uses their words in a totally twisted way. They say things that are just wrong, they twist the truth to get what they want, or they say things that are flat out mean just to hurt other people. The biblical text is warning us right off the bat, our words have incredible power, right? And using them to twist the truth is basically a super fast track down that foolish path. Moving into section 2. Slow down and think first, so we can avoid those hasty feet. Sometimes we get this huge desire for something, like you just really want to win that game at recess, or you have to be first in line, or you want that new video game so badly, and we act without even using our brains. Listen to how Proverbs 19 verse 2 puts it. Desire without knowledge is not good. How much more will hasty feet miss the way? Think back to what we talked about earlier, running too fast and tripping. Having hasty feet means rushing into things totally blindly without actually thinking them through. If you just run full speed ahead without checking where you're going, you are absolutely going to miss the right way to go. And when we rush blindly like that, it usually leads us straight to this word, folly. Verse 3 talks about how a person's own folly leads to their ruin. Folly is really just a fancy word for foolishness, or making really bad choices. Have you ever noticed that when you get in trouble or find yourself in a super messy situation, it's usually because of a choice you made? Yeah, it's our own folly, our own hasty feet that get us stuck in a jam. So the crucial point is this. When our own bad choices cause trouble, what's our first reaction? We usually try to blame someone else. Verse 3 says that a person's folly leads to their ruin, yet their heart rages against the Lord. When we mess up because we were rushing or just being foolish, we shouldn't get mad and blame Him. We really shouldn't be saying, why is my life so hard? Instead, we need to take a good, hard look at our own choices. He has already given us this amazing toolkit, these rules to make wise choices. It's totally up to us to actually use them. That brings us to section 3. The truth always wins. Let's look at the incredible power of honesty. If the biblical text is our toolkit, then honesty is hands down the most powerful tool in the box. Verses 5 and 9 create this really stark contrast for us. Every day, we have the choice of telling the truth or the choice of pouring out lies. Being someone who tells the truth even when it's really hard, even when you might get in a little bit of trouble for a mistake you made, it's honestly like having a superpower. People can actually trust you. But pouring out lies, acting as a false witness, well, that's a really quick way to lose everyone's trust completely. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that the biblical text repeats this warning almost exactly, twice, in just a few verses. Both verse 5 and verse 9 lay out the true cost of lying. It says a false witness will not go unpunished, they will not go free, and whoever pours out lies will perish. And guys, when the text repeats something, it's basically like a giant flashing neon sign saying, hey, pay attention. He wants us to value the truth incredibly highly because honesty protects us, and ultimately, it honors Him.
All right, section 4, what makes a true friend? We're going to look a little bit beyond just wealth and stuff. Verses 4, 6, and 7 give us some super honest observations about how people actually act around wealth. The text points out something you've probably seen happen in real life. It notes that wealth attracts many friends, and that everyone wants to be the buddy of someone who's constantly handing out gifts. But it also says that when someone is poor, even their closest friends might desert them, and they're shunned. The biblical text is being incredibly real with us here. It's just observing that, unfortunately, people can sometimes be pretty fake. They might only stick around for what they can get out of you, while totally ignoring those who don't have fancy things to offer.
So let's bring this right down to the playground or your own neighborhood. Ask yourself, are they a friend to you or just a friend to your stuff? And actually, even more importantly, what kind of friend are you? The Wise Path challenges us to be true friends. We need to be the kind of people who love others for exactly who they are on the inside, not for what cool new toys they own or, what kind of awesome snacks they have in their lunchbox.
Let's wrap things up with section 5, growing your wisdom every day and looking at the everyday rewards that come with it. Let's move to and see how this builds. Because if you can master slowing down, telling the truth, and being a real friend, it comes with incredible rewards. Just look at verse 8. I absolutely love this promise. It says the one who gets wisdom loves life. The one who cherishes understanding will soon prosper. Now, this isn't saying that life will be perfect and nothing bad will ever happen. But it is a promise that when you purposefully seek out the wise path, your life becomes so much richer and more joyful.
Let's break that verse down into 3 simple steps for how to truly win at life. Step 1, get wisdom. Learn from your mistakes, pay attention, and listen to this incredible toolkits. Step 2, cherish understanding. Try to really dig in and understand why these rules exist in the first place, because they're there to protect you. And step 3, love life and prosper. When you do those first 2 steps, you actually get to experience the joy of a life lived really well. You get to thrive.
And just to remind us of what truly matters, verse 10 gives us kind of a funny little picture. It says, "It is not fitting for a fool to live in luxury. How much worse for a slave to rule over princes?" The text is basically saying that when a foolish person has absolutely everything, it just feels totally backwards. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because character matters way more than having a life of total luxury. Your heart, your honesty, and your wisdom, those are your true treasures.
We've unpacked some absolutely amazing tools from Proverbs 19 today. We've learned to avoid hasty feet, to really value the truth, and to look out for true, genuine friends. So I want to leave you with this one thought-provoking question as you step away from this explainer today. How will you choose wisdom today? Will you slow down before you speak? Will you tell the truth, even if it's super hard? Take these awesome truths, put them into practice, and choose the path that honors Him today. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll catch you next time.